Today we are coming to the last point of this lesson on air and water. These two things are very essential for all the living beings, is it not? Now before we come to today's topic, we will see what we have seen in the previous class. We started with the discussion on water, its sources and properties. Sources, come on, what are the sources? We have rainwater, purest form of water. Then sea water, abundant. Then river water, lake, springs and so on. Coming to properties, water is a, come on, colorless, odorless liquid. Water exists in three forms, three states of matter. Can you name them? The solid, water is available as ice. The liquid as water. The gaseous state as water vapor. And what is the boiling point of water? 100 degree. Freezing point? 0 degree. Water has a nature of flowing from a higher level to lower level. It's not, it flows and it dissolves in many of the substances. Hence it is called as, what is the word? Universal solvent. It is required for all the living beings, is it not? And also we have seen what is called as hard water and soft water with regard to soap solution. A sample of water which gives good lather is called as soft water. Does not give good lather is called as hard water. And also we have seen this hard water has some disadvantages. What are they? Time waste, soap waste, money waste. In boilers also it is very disadvantageous. It forms what is called as scaling. To avoid that, you have to convert that hard water into soft water by different processes like boiling, Clark's method, ion exchange method, soda process and so on. We already studied. Also we have seen a very special property called as polar nature of water, that it has got two ions, hydrogen ions and oxide ions, is it not? And we had an experiment tested with the ebonite rod rubbed with silk. What is the charge you produce there? Minus. Other one is glass rod rubbed with ebonite rod rubbed with fur gives negative charge. Glass rod rubbed with silk will give positive charge. We tested the water, it was an experiment conducted. Hence we found that water has got two charges and it has got a special property called surface tension. And the upper surface of water, suppose you have a blade on the surface of water, if you keep it, it will be there floating. That is called surface tension, is it not? There are so many applications for surface tension, and that property is due to the intermolecular force, why the bubbles are spherical in shape, again due to surface tension. Also we have seen about pollution of water, water pollution, and that was the discussion we made in the previous class. Now we will look at the home assignment. First question was, name any two sources of water pollution. Number one, factories and industries. Of course, both mean the same. Industry means large scale, which releases various toxins, means something like poison. Untreated effluents means liquids, and heavy metals and industrial solvents into natural water, which pollutes the water. And mining exposes heavy metals such as metals and sulfur, which are buried deep in the earth into water bodies. So, especially bore wells, open wells, all these water bodies will be affected by the mining. Second question, what are the two sources of water pollution based on their origin? First one is called point source pollution, means a pipe. Pollution is done by a water pipe or gutter water. It is called point source. Non-point source, a large scale. The water joins the river, and that's called as non-point source pollution. Now coming to today's topic about utility of water. Come on, you only can tell, na? Yes, one by one. Water is used for drinking purpose, then washing clothes, then taking bath, then for our digestive system, for plants to prepare food. Is it not? So like that you can go on listing out. Here are some more interesting items. Water is used for many purposes including growing crops. I think some of you have got vegetable garden near your house, flower garden, and some will grow rice, jawar, ragi, etc. etc. So they are all called crops. For the growth of crops, water is needed. Metallurgical operations to obtain metals such as copper, etc. So for metals, to extract metals from its ores, water is necessary. Generating electricity, what do you call it? Come on. Hydroelectricity. Running water, we put dams and it is made to flow into canals through what is called as turbines. Hence electricity is produced. Watering of lawns, small grasses. For grass, you have for watering purpose. There are so many types in that. You have got a drip irrigation system, moist irrigation system, and you might have seen some beautiful sprinklers. Have you seen it? So there all water is used, and some recreation also, drinking purpose also, recreations. You might have heard about Wonderla. In Mysore, in Bangalore, we have got Wonderla, and swimming pools. Is it not? And in villages, we have got open wells or rivers for swimming and all. So that's called recreation. And also we can say that water is essential for our life and for all living beings. Water is a must. Without water, digestion is not possible. Is it not? Even to excrete urine or solid waste, and also for all such things water is very, very essential. Without water, plants and animal cells cannot function and they ultimately die. For 1 day or 2 days they can manage, but later on it will become fade and it will die off. Now we will have a list of these things. First one, role of water for the following uses. One, domestic use. What is domestic use? For cooking and for drinking, for washing. Washing means washing vessels, washing the body, etc. Agricultural use. I need not tell, most of your farmers' children, you know how much water is important. Industrial use, in the industries, in large scale, where no, water is very, very essential for the generation of electricity. Just now you refer to that, hydroelectricity. Now let us see one by one. So water plays an important role in your domestic life, like cooking for food. So for cooking, water is very, very important. And washing utensils, washing clothes, to clean the floor. How many of you know cleaning the floor? How many of you do it? Of course, some may use the scrubber, and some of can do in the hands also. So in this young age, you should do some seva in home also, like washing utensils. How many of you wash your plate and tumbler yourself? Yes, it's a good habit. Gandhiji used to do all his services himself. That's what our Prime Minister says, Atma Nirbhara Bharata. Because you must stand on your legs, we have to do our duties ourselves. And how many of you wash your clothes? At least your inner garments, towel and all, you can wash, na? Even others also you can wash. So develop that habit. How many of you know cooking? Okay, some of you may know it. But some of you, if you cook means you cannot eat, others cannot eat. If you prepare rice, it will be like a paste. Is it not? So don't do that. But anyway, you can learn, especially girl students. They have to learn cooking purpose. Okay. It is also used for whitewashing, to take bath. Whitewashing means what? For the walls. Is it not? They will take some lime and add it to water, and then it is used for whitewashing. Good medium for extracting the body waste such as urine, stool or perspiration. What is perspiration? In summer, you get sweat in the body. That is also water. And how the sweat comes? While digestion of food, if you drink water, this water will mix up with the food, and all the waste will come out in the form of urine or stools or perspiration. And coming to some other uses of water, the salts and nutrients of the food dissolve in water. Is it not? For example, preparing juice, coffee, tea, etc. Everywhere the water will play its role. And also nutrients are easily absorbed by our body. So our body, when you drink water, it passes through different parts. First the mouth, then the throat, then esophagus. Is it not? Then it passes through stomach, pancreas, then intestines and all that. So they are all called parts of the body. You have studied in biology. It has to pass through all these things. But it is very essential. Thus, water helps in assimilation of many nutrients present in the food. What are the nutrients? Means what? Nutrients include carbohydrates. Where do you get it? It is present in rice, vegetables, jawar, etc. etc. Then you have fats. Where do you get fats? In ghee, butter, is it not? Oils. Then you have proteins. Where do you get proteins? Proteins are available in, come on, proteins are available in wheat, eggs, tur dal, etc., etc. They contain proteins. So these are called nutrients. These nutrients have to be digested or given to the body, and that process is called assimilation, means digestion. Okay. And here you must note an important point. I don't know how many have observed it. See, for breakfast in the morning, you eat idli, example, and sambar you say, or upma, or avalaki, and all that. While eating, it will be idli. After assimilation, what happens? Food becomes blood. See, what a wonderful mechanism. Are you following what I am telling? Suppose you cut any part of your body, you won't get idli or vada or sambar. What do you get? You get blood. Food becomes blood. So, what a wonderful creation. Na? So, be thankful to God. That is why we have to do prayers. Because God is very compassionate to work through us. And this is an example for agricultural use of water. So, what are these called? Sprinklers. So, depending on the size of the lawn, this is what is called lawn or garden, they use different kinds of sprinklers. This is one type of sprinkler where water is uniformly distributed. Okay, in agriculture sector, water is used for the irrigation of crops. So, that process is called irrigation. For example, you have rice, wheat, jawar, ragi, etc. That has to be irrigated. They will pass water through pipes or through canals and so on. It helps in the germination of seeds and growth of plants. Seed. So what they do is they do plowing. After plowing, seeds are put, and these seeds are covered by the soil. Then water is to be left behind it. So when water flows through these seeds covered with soil, it germinates. That is called germination of seeds. The small seeds will become plants. And for the growth of plants also, this water is important. Nutrients provided by fertilizers to the soil are soluble in water. So, especially in the form of fertilizers, there are two types of fertilizers. One is natural, another is artificial. Natural means what? In the house, when the cows are there, cow dung is a natural fertilizer mixed with some leaves and all. It becomes natural fertilizer, compost, what you call it. Compost means all the cow dung and all put in a pit for a few months. It becomes a very good fertilizer. Artificial means you have like urea, then gromor, is it not? Sufala, etc., etc. So there are two types: natural fertilizer and artificial fertilizer. And here water is compulsory. If water is not supplied after putting fertilizers, the plants cannot take these nutrients. So passing water is very, very important, is it not? So these are some more uses of water as far as agriculture sector is concerned. And let us see now about industries. So the dissolved nutrients or fertilizers are easily absorbed by the plants. So passing of water is important. Water is also required for the preparation of food by the plants. What is the process called? It is called photosynthesis. What are the things required for that? We want sunlight, come on, carbon dioxide, then mineral water. How do you get it? From the roots. What else? Most important, chlorophyll. These are the 4 ingredients you can call for preparation of food in plants, and that is called as photosynthesis, for which water is compulsory. Without water, this preparation of food will not take place. Okay. It also acts a medium for the transportation of nutrients and minerals from one part of the plant to the other. So when water is absorbed by the roots, it will pass to all the different branches, is it not? And that is done by water. So as a medium it acts. For the transportation means what? Moving from one place to another. For example, you will be using many kinds of transportation. Some will use bicycle, some will use, come on, scooter or bikes, and very few of you will use cars also. Some will come by bus, is it not? All these are called a medium of transportation. But water is important for as a medium of transportation in the case of plants. Okay. And water provides home for aquatic plants and animals. You might have heard about different kinds of aquatic plants, is it not? And you have heard about fishes and all that, aquatic animals. Fishes, tortoise, crocodiles, and so on. And plants also, algae you have, is it not? So all these grow or live only in the presence of water. So this is the use of water as far as the importance is concerned, right? Coming to industrial uses, means used in a large scale. It is used as a coolant. So this is an example of coolant. Here one side they send cold water, and other side the hot water will come outside. In automobiles as well as in industries. Okay, in automobiles also water is important. They use distilled water. It is also used in the production of ice and steam in the industrial boilers and steam engines. Steam engines also water is very important. Used as a solvent in many industrial processes. Means a medium. Solvent means here liquid medium. Water is important. And last but not the least, it is used to prepare many chemical compounds. For example, when sulfur trioxide is dissolved in water, it forms sulfuric acid. Similarly, when nitrogen peroxide dissolved in water forms nitric acid. So many of the chemical reactions take place in the presence of water. Okay, that is called as solvent. And water is also used to prepare fuels like hydrogen gas and water gas. What is water gas? CO plus H2. When red hot coke is treated with water or steam, it forms water gas. It is a very good fuel. Hydrogen gas also is obtained from water, where water decomposes into hydrogen and oxygen. It may be done by one of the process is called electrolysis. For that, water is very, very important. Okay. And now, uses of water to generate electricity. That is what is called as hydroelectricity. This is a dam. This is the water, running water. So, dams are constructed and turbines are there. These turbines, when they rotate, they produce electricity, and this is called as hydroelectric power. One way of harnessing energy from water is to capture energy as hydroelectric power. Hydro means what? Water. By the help of water, electric power is obtained. Here generator is used. So usually it will be step up transformer, and then from it is supplied to different parts of the country. And this is one beautiful photo of the water project. Okay, and therefore water is also important for that. Electricity generated by using the water falling from a height to rotate turbines. If you go to Jog, how many have seen Jog? Where it is? Yes, it is in Shimoga district. And the dam, what is the name of the dam? Come on. Linganamakki. There water is falling from a height. So that water is controlled, and it is made to rotate the turbines. By rotating turbines, it continues to rotate the generators where electricity is produced. Water is used in thermal and nuclear power stations to produce steam generation of electricity. So thermal power plant, I said about Raichur, no? There is thermal power plant, and there coal is taken, and this coal is heated. So, and it heats up the water, becomes steam, and steam is converted into electricity. Similarly, nuclear power stations also, nuclear reaction takes place with the help of uranium, nuclear fission reaction, and there also the cold water that is circulated is being heated by the very high temperature produced by nuclear fission. Okay. So there are two processes in nuclear stations. One is nuclear fission and is nuclear fusion. Fusion means light nucleus joining together form a heavy nucleus. Hydrogen become helium. Fission means heavy nucleus like uranium, thorium, etc. are broken down into some useful things. For this process, water is necessary. So in a way, there is a great demand for water. Okay. So then there is a lot of demand, we have to conserve it also. That is called conservation of water, and especially in rainy season, lot of water is wasted. It goes unnecessarily to the sea. Is it not? Such wasteful water is controlled. That is what is called as rainwater harvesting. As the population is increasing, industries are increasing, agricultural lands are increasing, there is a acute demand for water. Lot of demand is there for water. Therefore, water sources like groundwater and river water also being dried up. You can see this. So it is dried up because they are pumped out continuously for agriculture purpose, for factories and so on. And that is why it is a very, very essential thing Wise conservation of water has become the need of the survival. Attempts are being made in different directions, such as collection of water by making dams and reservoirs, creating groundwater structures such as wells, recycling of used water, and desalination of water. Desalination means what? Removing the ions or purifying water. Recycling means what? The waste water has to be recycled. There is a different process for that. So, and wells also. So, there is a need for dams and reservoirs. Wells also. Well means there are two types. One is called open well, another is called bore wells. And recycling of water, especially in cities, it is very essential. In Singapore, everywhere sea only. Therefore, they use all, there is no wastage of water at all. All used water also is again made useful for drinking purpose. So, recharging of groundwater has become necessary. That also to do. There is different process for that. This is being done through rainwater harvesting. So, this is a very interesting thing. Recently, it has developed rainwater harvesting, where the rainwater is collected. So, this is one way of that. Rainwater harvesting by plastic ponds. You may see in villages. So, the plastic ponds are developed. When the rain comes, the water will be stored there, which is used in the summer vacation when there is scarcity of water. And also the ground level of water will be high if there is a pond like this. So, rainwater harvesting means collecting rainwater on the roofs of buildings and storing it underground. So, in the roofs they collect water that is been transferred to the underground. So, this is one beautiful photo. So, this is the roof of the house. So, here rainwater is collected and connected to rainwater storage. And from rainwater storage it go to sand filter for purification. All suspended particles will be collected here and it is separated. Then it comes to main tank. It will be in the ground level, made of concrete. And also a water filter marked in orange is used to make the water usable for daily activities. RO filter is used to make it portable in the ground floor. This is RO filter. So, this filter pumps, so this is the wastewater. Water after certain level in the main tank is allowed to flow freely into soil through a filter and valve combination to make sure that soil does not enter water in the main tank. Here, soil does not enter the main tank. So, this is called rainwater harvesting. So, here it enclosed and cemented catchment area. As you keep in the nowadays, government has told make it very strict. Whomever builds buildings, houses or schools or colleges, etc., they should have a arrangement for rainwater harvesting. In the rainy season, water is to be collected, it should be purified and stored in the main tank. And this tank water is used for plants, lawns, etc., etc. So, conservation of water and rainwater harvesting. Harvesting rainwater is not only keeps reduce the possibility of flooding, but also decreases the community's dependence on groundwater for domestic users. So, it decreases the dependence on groundwater. Groundwater means what? Yeah, well water is a groundwater. So, if you have the rainwater harvesting, it decreases the demand and reduces the possibility of flooding. Recently, I have experienced so many floods in many places of Andhra, Orissa, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, and so on. All this flooding has happened because of so many reasons. One of them is, there is no proper rainwater harvesting, there is no proper drainages, and nowadays mining also resulted in that. So anyway, flooding will be reduced by this rainwater harvesting. It's perfectly suited for landscapes. You might have heard about Markera, how the landscape took place, or in Tirupati, Nandi Hills, and so on. Landscape means in the rainy season, the hillocks and all come down. It becomes very soft and come down. So, for landscape irrigation, growing vegetables and flowers used in room coolers, washing and many other applications. For washing also they use this the rainwater harvesting, and also for growing vegetables and flowers also this collected water can be used. Is it not? Anyway, water is very precious. You should not misuse it. Being soft water, rainwater is used for washing purposes. It gives good lather because it is very pure. Compared to other water, it is very pure. So, it is used for washing purposes. While using rainwater, hardness deposits do not accumulate and there is no problem of soap scum. So, there is salts will be present in the hard water. So, when you use rainwater, hardness deposit do not accumulate, means there will be no salts dissolved in it, and therefore there will be no scum formation of soap. Okay, and harvested water may also be used for personal consumption, but it must be filtered and treated prior to use. So, for a room cleaning and all, you can use harvested water, is it not? And for small gardens also you can use, but it should be filtered and treated properly. By reducing runoff the rainwater that falls on our house or field, you can put a valuable water resource to work around your house. So, the water which is being wasted, you can put some bund constructions and you can store it properly. So, instead of wasting the water running unnecessarily, it can be controlled and stored. It will be used for good purposes. And benefits of harvesting rainwater is summarized as follows. Number 1, conserves valuable groundwater like open wells, bore wells, etc. Secondly, reduces local flooding and drainage problems. Some of the cities and all we find drainage problems. The water will not be allowed to go outside. So there will be blockage. So much of water will be unnecessarily troubling. Decreases landscaping and property maintenance needs. So landscaping will reduced. Provides excellent quality of water for many household uses like washing, for gardening, etc. And it can be used for domestic purposes such as for growing vegetables, flowers, trees, shrubs and seedlings to greenhouse, etc. So, vegetables and flowers and trees all can be grown by the help of rainwater harvesting. Okay, so these are interesting water conservation facts. So 2% of Earth's water supply is fresh water, only 2%. Most of the percentage is stored in the form of sea and oceans. which are not at all useful for drinking purpose. Why? Because it contains salt. 1% of Earth's water is available for drinking, out of which 2% is frozen. So, in the potable water also 2% is frozen. Where it is frozen? In the Arctic and Antarctic regions, Greenland and so on. In Siberia, northern part of Russia, etc. A dairy cow can drink about 4 gallons of water to produce 1 gallon of milk. 1 gallon means how much? 3.78 liters. Around 4, you can say 4 liters. So, to produce say about 4 liters of milk, it requires about 15 liters of water, a cow. So, anyway, cows also need more water. Okay, now we will have some interesting questions. That is, tick right or wrong in the given box. Collection of water by making dams and reservoirs. Is it true or false? Yes, it is true. Growing more vegetables and trees. Is it true? So, they are the ways of conserving water is a question. Is it for growing more vegetables? No. Creating groundwater structures such as wells. Yes. Recycling of used water. Yes. Adding more fertilizers to soil. No. Desalination of water. Yes. Changing the landscapes. No. So, these are the answers for the ways of conserving water. Okay. Is it nice? Now we will have one more interesting thing. Can you find the answers before all the letters are revealed? Question is, recharging of groundwater is done through recharging of groundwater. Come on, what is it called? You can see letters appearing. Yes, rainwater, then harvesting, rainwater harvesting, that is recharging of groundwater. Okay, now let us see what Bhagwan Baba says. Quotation of Swami. God will certainly be pleased if you give water to the thirsty and bread for the hungry and clothes for the naked. See, if you give water to the thirsty, when you are thirsty, if you give water, or if you give any eatables for those hungry, and clothes for those who don't have proper clothes, that is a very good form of service. Dina dukhiyon se prem karo mera, sai prasanna hoga. Okay, so that is Swami quotation. Let us practice it. Coming to the last point, home assignment. Why does rainwater prove to be suitable for washing with soap? What do you mean by conservation of water? How is it useful? Third question, how would industries and agriculture suffer in the event of acute shortage of water? Will you come prepared? Okay, come prepared for the answers. Thank you.